In this video, I'll uncover the new study that states that skipping breakfast can have a detrimental impact on your overall health. Hi ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Zarowski and welcome back to the channel. Now if you're new to the channel, it's a pleasure to have you here. Be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, and join our notification community so I can help you excel your health and your life. In this video, we have a hot new topic. It's fresh off the press, and that is, can skipping breakfast actually kill you? There's a new study that just came out by the JACC, and it's very interesting because it's gone through the media, and the media has been posting that, doing intermittent fasting is actually bad for you. This study, it actually contradicts everything I teach on this channel. It contradicts this healthy lifestyle that I push onto people, and so basically what we have to do is discuss it, break it down, because this new study found that you're going to actually die if you were practicing intermittent fasting from what some people are telling us. But let's go ahead and look at the truth. So when we look at this study, it's done by the JACC, basically once again April 16th, brand new study, and it was done in the University of Iowa. Basically what they concluded in this study, let's look at the conclusion right down here. Skipping breakfast was associated with a significant increased risk of mortality from cardiovascular disease. Our study supports the benefits of eating breakfast in promoting cardiovascular health. Now, I actually just did a video on whether or not you should eat breakfast, whether you should skip it or eat it every morning. Well, they're saying right here in this study that you're, greater risk of mortality and cardiovascular disease. So let's go ahead and break this down, and I'll put a link to this particular study in the description below. Now, when we look at this, let's look at the skipping breakfast study. It's done by the University of Iowa, published in the JACC. What it involved was 6,550 Americans ages 40 to 75 from 1988 to 1994. They've been analyzing this data, and then this is what they've concluded from it. This was done via survey, so basically they asked people, did you eat breakfast every morning? Did you eat breakfast, just a couple days a week? Did you just eat it sometimes? So basically they did this survey asking people when they ate breakfast, and then they associated all these different health conditions to those people who had not been eating breakfast. Let's take a look. The study findings that you have an 87% increase in cardiovascular mortality. That's really devastating statistics there is what they found. An increased risk of obesity, because it wasn't just the cardiovascular mortality that came out of this. They said, well, you also, if you skip breakfast, have increased risk of obesity, increased cholesterol, higher blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and an increased risk of heart disease. Okay, so now if you're just the average person and you've been told that you should do intermittent fasting and you saw this, you're gonna freak out. You're gonna be like, whoa, no way. But let's put some practical thought to this whole thing. First of all, what they found is that as well with this information, the subjects who skipped breakfast had terrible lifestyles, okay? So this is a major factor, because these people weren't skipping breakfast as a way of doing intermittent fasting like some people have associated. As a matter of fact, people were skipping breakfast just because of their poor lifestyle in many cases. Those poor lifestyle habits included smoking, okay? How many people who smoke get up, have a cup of coffee and a couple cigarettes before noon but don't eat breakfast? That's not a healthy lifestyle. That's not intermittent fasting. Drinking, and also they were physically inactive, and also these same people were eating very poor quality diets, okay? So what we have to conclude from this is that real intermittent fasting was not practiced, and that skipping breakfast does not equal intermittent fasting. And when we look at this study, we just have to take it for what it is. These people skipped breakfast, they were unhealthy people, they lived poor lifestyles, and they ended up with a bunch of health conditions. But it has nothing to do with intermittent fasting. So we don't want to get confused and think that we should stop intermittent fasting because we have this great risk of doing intermittent fasting and, of course, mortality. So when we look at it and we put practical thought to it, remember that skipping breakfast does not equal intermittent fasting. This study is not a representation of intermittent fasting in any way, because people who are doing intermittent fasting are doing it to improve their health. In most cases, they're eating right, they're following a good quality diet, they're active people, they're doing the right things for their health. They're not just, kind of skipping breakfast, no time frame managed as far as when they were eating, when they weren't. It's a totally different ballgame, so don't correlate them. Now, the one thing I will say is that intermittent fasting has tons of benefits. I'm not going to dive into it in this video because I cover it so much in other ones, but what I will do is I will put a link to a video that I did up here that is a complete guide to intermittent fasting. It tells you everything you need to know, when you should eat, when you shouldn't eat, what breaks your fast, all the details, the benefits like it has right here. So check that video out and it'll help you improve your health drastically. Once again, to recap on this, intermittent fasting doesn't equal skipping breakfast. This this study has no bearing on the impact or effects of intermittent fasting. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you have any questions, put it in the comments section below. Also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet, and check out my other videos on how you can improve your health. I'll see you in the next video.